obviously. Right, I'm recording progress. Lovely. So let's go back onto Facebook. Wonderful. Here we go. Facebook. On my group, in my group.
I don't know how you manage all these things, Nick.
No, nor do I, frankly, sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right, here we go. Let us hope. Let us see what happens. So it should be going live into the group now. It says it is. Here we go. So good afternoon. It says meeting is now streaming on Facebook. Hopefully it's in the right group. I managed to stream live into somebody else's group the other day. I know exactly. There's a drop-down menu, and I was streaming to somebody else, and so Justine said, "No, you can't stream live." Anyway, good afternoon. So good afternoon. Monday afternoon, 3:00. This is one I put the members under the spotlight, and we talk about. We like to talk about the frequently asked questions. Everybody has a whole list of frequently asked questions. They are always asked about the industry or profession. Okay, and so Raisa sent me some questions. I've got one or two of my own. Okay, she didn't know about, I'm sure. But I'm going to so we welcome. So Raisa, good afternoon, lovely to see you.
And you as well. And I'm going to do my signature wave.
Okay, good. I love your. I wasn't aware you had a signature wave, but now I know you do. So that's good. I met Raisa a couple of years ago, very very early on in her networking journey. At Richmond, okay, and I know I nicknamed you Nervous Nelly. I think you nicknamed you the same Nervous Nelly, and you have come on leaps and bounds in 2 years. So your own business journey is quite new, okay. I believe the utility warehouse of Thermomix, a couple of years old. That's when we met, okay. And so tell me about your networking. What have you enjoyed about networking? What's been your networking experiences to date?
Gosh, when I first started networking, I was scared out of my mind. And Diane Mitchell, she's another networker. I initially started going to her networking meetings. And then one day she said, you should meet Nick Blanchard. He is a character. You'll really enjoy him. And I mean, she knew me well enough by then that I need something. I like different things. I like people that really stand out. And so that's when I met you. And I think that's when my networking probably, I think I made a decision at that point. It was just like, okay, you know what? I've got to go. I really have to step into a different kind of person because I was really shy. I was really insecure and self-conscious about people, about my messaging and my own business. And I had just started my cooking school at that point, and I knew nothing about business at that point.
And you've met people to help you along your way in your journey, okay?
Yeah, because I think when we met, it was January. It was like a couple of months before lockdown hit. And
no, we met before, we were long before that. We met a few months before that, definitely.
Did we?
Yeah.
I have forgotten. But yeah, I remember that I had really, oh yes, we had. And I remember that I had become before lockdown hit, I had become very comfortable with, I think we had met almost a year before, Nick.
Yep, I think so, yeah.
And I remember that when lockdown hit, thinking, oh God, I'm really upset because, I'm so getting into the groove of this and really becoming the extrovert that I really want to be. And now we're going to go into lockdown. And I was really starting to enjoy everyone's company and building relationships and things like that. And so I think I had come leaps and bounds before lockdown hit. And then obviously we all went online on Zoom.
And you came to my free meeting, didn't you?
So, yeah, because you had them regularly.
Monday and Friday, yeah.
And we had a core group of people, and I think it really helped us get through lockdown.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's not about, I find it interesting to talk about you as a person. You said you were very shy and networking helped you. And obviously, I mean, you're a mother of three, aren't you? 3 boys, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you yourself, you describe yourself as shy, so you realize in business you need, you need to get out there and meet people. That's really interesting. So thank you, Raisa. I appreciate your honesty. So we might again, slightly different than the norm. We can talk about you again. So where are you from?
I am originally born in Pakistan,
Mhm.
but have come from Santa Monica, California. So been here almost 13 years.
Mhm.
Thought I was going to leave after 3.
And how long were you in California for?
Oh gosh, before then we were there for almost 10.
Mhm.
So I was in New York and I've lived all over.
Mhm. And now in Kingston, as I said, so that's good. So your main business, as I said, is a Thermomix machine. I mean, I've sampled it, I've witnessed it. We've made food at your house. We've made lemonade in the Kingston store. We will talk about the Thermomix machine in a minute. But first of all, when and why did you start the cooking school?
So the cooking school started. So I'm going to backtrack a bit and say that when my older boy was 12, and this was 5 years ago, um, I've got two are younger, and he was just busy getting ready for school, and my husband was busy getting ready for work, and the other two had their own things going. And it just occurred to me that if I didn't reinvent myself from just being their mom,
Mhm.
that they were all going to have their own life eventually, and I was still going to be at home doing the laundry. And did I really, it was sort of like this epiphany moment where I'm just thinking, okay, do I really want to be washing dishes my whole life? Not that there's anything wrong with that. And doing the laundry, no. What can I do? And so I reinvented myself a few times, tried a couple of different things, and they were great. And but they weren't really moving me forward. Like it wasn't it wasn't getting me out of bed.
Mhm.
And so one day I had one of my friends come over, and she's from New York, and she's very New York ish. And she just, very plain and blunt and blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, I'm doing this thing online and I just don't think it's working for me. And she was like, what the hell are you doing? You're doing it all wrong. You need to go out in the community, open up a cooking school, have people come over from all over, and that's how you get to know people. And so I said to her, but I'm scared. And she's like, feel the fear and just do it anyway. So I made a flyer, put it on Nextdoor, and said, I've opened a cooking school, come over. We're going to make some dolls. And literally the next day, people were signing up. And I did the cooking school for about a year. And one of my first customers was a Thermomix team. She runs a team in Richmond.
Mhm.
And she said nothing about it except for when I asked her, oh, what do you do? And she's like, yeah, I demonstrate Thermomix. And that was it. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, shoot, I really need to Google this when she's gone because I have no idea what she's talking about. Um, and so when she left, that's when I Googled it. And then a few weeks later, I ended up joining her team because I just thought, my God, I have really been living under a rock.
It's still it's still something that a lot of people haven't heard of. And of course it suits. So your cooking, your cooking school. What countries or what type of cooking are you producing?
In my cooking school, I focused on Indian and Pakistani
In
food.
Pakistan, and of course, and then that sits well with a Thermomix machine, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sauces,
because
curries,
yeah, so whatever can be the things that, there are a few things. Basically, Indian and Pakistani food it's a laborious kind of an affair.
Yeah.
And so if there are ways in which I can streamline my cooking or
Mm.
even cut down on the time or even chopping onions or whatever, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm
Yeah.
going to find that piece of equipment, because the end game is to get some really good food, whether it's Indian or Pakistani or Mexican or whatever it is that you're cooking.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about the Thermomix machine, because I've seen the Thermomix machine in action. I'm aware there's certain things it doesn't do, but I mean, I was blown away by how it worked, because from what I remember, and you're going to correct me if I get this wrong, okay? Because I'm sure I will get something wrong, but I know it has their built-in scales and a computer screen. So you're making a risotto, for instance. I know it makes beautiful risotto, okay? So it will tell you exactly, you follow the screen, and it says pour in so and so amount of water, so and so amount of this, so and so amount of that. So, and you click next, and it resets the scale, and it keeps, and then it will say cook for temperature whatever for 5 minutes. You do that, then it will ping, and it will tell you next. So it's step by step, all in one machine. Okay. And so, you know, in my mind, you are combining a computer screen, a laptop, a scales, and a cooker. You're combining three things in one. Okay. And I've seen it. And I came to your place and we made a cold salad, but it was amazing. You know, I mean, you know, I know traditionally in this country, we think a salad a bit lesser than a tomato. But I think, you know, in European and Asian cooking, a salad can be spectacular. And the salad we made, there's all kinds of things in it. And as you said, you find the recipe on the computer screen, you get the ingredients, and you just follow the instructions. It's idiot-proof cooking, but you know, it's proper food. So I mean, I hope I've described it well. As that is a Thermomix, okay? So tell us more about the Thermomix and what it can do.
So the machine is, it's basically about 22 appliances that are wrapped up into one countertop machine. So it can do all matter of things, like boiling your eggs and making your rice. It can make soups and salads. It basically sous chefs everything. It can blend and make hollandaise sauce and, you know, these amazing sauces. It can, gosh, it weighs, and it's got a kettle function. It can slow cook, so it does pretty much everything bar baking.
Right.
So you can, you know, knead all your breads and things. And the thing about, I think one of the benefits of it is that if you're, for example, if you're browning onions, you can have that machine do it while you're multitasking and doing something else. So you're becoming more efficient in what you're doing versus just doing. I mean, people like to think that they can multitask, but if you're doing 20 things at once, that's not multitasking. That's just doing 20 things at once. And your focus is divided. But with this, it's, you know, I've got something reliable besides my husband and my children that is doing what it say, you know, what I'm telling it to do, and it's doing it really well, and it's doing it consistently every single time.
Are you telling me your children will do what you tell them? Because it sounds like you need some kind of magician when it comes to being a mother. But that's another question.
Oh no, I'm saying that when I tell them, hey, can you watch the sauce? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then, you know, they remember, oh, I need to go check my score on my game. And then 5 minutes later.
Exactly. Well, we'll come back to you. I know your children get involved as well. But when it comes to, I mean, soups, I mean, we all love a homemade soup.
Yeah.
I mean, my word. I mean, in the winter, there's nothing nicer than a soup, and the homemade soups are spectacular. So, I mean, the soups it makes, it must be perfect for soup. So it will chop. You'll put the things in. It will chop it, and then cook it. Then you add the liquid, and then it will cook it. So presumably soups, it'll do everything when it comes to making a soup.
Yeah, so you will do from start to finish all in one bowl. And the great thing about the machine is that it also has an improved cleaning function. So it can do that. And the other functionality that was just added over lockdown was menu planning. So there's a database of recipes on this application called Cookie Do, which is accessible on the machine is Wi-Fi connected. So it's like your smartphone, but on a cooking machine. And you can plan your whole week's menu or your whole month's and then send it off. It's to the grocery store and either collect it or have it delivered to you. So it's one step further than whatever other machines that are available out there would do.
When it comes to making bread, it doesn't bake, but presumably it will get it prepared, and then you just take it out, prove it, I believe it's called,
right,
and then bake it. Okay.
Yeah. So you can prove it in the machine too. There is a fermentation function.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I've seen it, and it is spectacular, absolutely spectacular. So you've been using it for 2 years, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you think how much of the machine do you think you cracked? How much do you think you know of the machine? How well do you think you know the machine in 2 years?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I would think, because I was just gonna say I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I would say probably 60 or 70%.
Wow. And you mentioned your sons earlier. What at least one of your sons loves Thermomix, and he cooks with it, doesn't he?
Well, one of my kids is a really good cook. And he was very resistant, but he's sort of coming around because he was just like, well, Mama, I can do it on the stove. And so my response to him was like, look, when you have a job and no time and your life is really, all you're doing is working and whatever, you're going to be glad that you had this machine.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it comes to cooking things like risotto. I mean, I said I've seen my mum cook risotto 1,000 times, and it is time-consuming and laborious. Water in, stir, stir, stir. Water in, stir, stir, stir. It takes forever. So things like risotto, it must be perfect for the Thermomix machine.
Yeah, I think even oatmeal. So there are a lot of, for example, like risotto, I would never make on the stove.
No.
And there are a lot of things that I make that my kids will say, oh no, we want the Thermomix version, because when you do it, it just, don't do it your way.
Yeah. And I asked you in Kingston. So Thermomix is a product for Vor work. So we're in the Vor workshop in Kingston. I think the two products are the vacuum and the Thermomix machine. Is that right? Yeah. Are there any other product? Just those two?
No, they only have two.
Interesting. Yeah, the remote control vacuum and the Thermomix machine. So I asked you in Kingston, what percentage of your cooking do you do in a Thermomix machine?
Yeah, I think, what did I tell you? I think I did I also said around 70%.
70%, yeah. So 70% of your cooking of all the meals you produce at home on this one countertop machine.
Yeah, so it's always in the mix.
Yeah, very good. So is it worth the money, or what are the benefits? Either what are the benefits, and is it worth the money?
Gosh, there are so many benefits. I think on an emotional level, there is. Yeah, it's just it's reliable. It's very consistent because in cooking we want, generally in baking you want precision. In cooking you want at least some consistency. If you're making sauces, you want to be very consistent, especially with temperature, and that really helps. And with if you're a non-cook, so there are a few customers that I have that are not cooks, it really helps them because they're just thinking, I really don't want to go and take 10 classes. I just want to follow some recipes that are tried and tested, and are really good, and I just want to get a result. And so that it works for them. There are some people that really can't, cooking is not a priority, so they use the machine. And then there are other people that are like me who are just creative. So I call myself a kitchen creative, and I just, I'm always thinking about, okay, what can I do differently? And the big motivator behind it is that if the machine does it, it does it a lot quicker than I would be able to do it manually.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm thinking, okay, even if I screw it up, I've still saved time because I've screwed up with less time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can redo the whole thing and still come out ahead. And I think that is one of the main benefits, is that it's just that you personally, you are not doing the work, something else is, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it just means that I can work on my business, I can have a conversation with somebody else, I can actually go to the store while my rice is getting done, and I don't need to check the stove every 5 minutes.
Well,
And
I mean, certainly, I mean, we all prefer to cook ourselves. It's tastier, certainly. There's too much processed stuff out there, but also, I mean, the cost of eating out has gone up so much since the pandemic, and so, I mean, the Thermomix, as I said, you know, you buy the raw ingredients, it is so much cheaper. So this just come back to the cost. I mean, people, the Thermomix machine, am I right, is it 50 years old? Did I see that at the Vor workshop? The
yeah,
machine is 50, it's 50 years old. So it's not a 2-minute invention. It's been around for 50 years. If my math is correct, it's 1971. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. And so, but the cost, I mean, people do kind of take a step back at the cost, but you mean it, well, I think it's good value when you put it when you talk about it. But talk about the cost and any special offers at the moment.
So the cost is usually, well, I think the cost is one of the things that people really consider, because
Mhm,
this machine is 1149, so
mhm,
that's it's an investment piece. And
mhm,
the thing that the way that we looked at it when we got it was that we knew that it's a German appliance, so it's going to last forever.
mhm,
But we're going to put a 10-year run time on this
mhm,
machine. So
mhm,
it's 1149, which means that every year it's going to cost me around 115
mhm,
pounds of rental. And if you look at that over 10 years, that's nothing.
mhm,
That is, if I didn't do one takeaway, that I would make that money back. If if And the other thing is that with your time savings, so for example, I used to order pizza,
mhm,
and pizza in our house cost, I don't know, 30 pounds or so, for a couple of pizzas, big
mhm.
pizzas, larges. And it takes about 30 minutes from start to finish, because I've got to order it and all of that. And one day I thought, you know what, let me just try and make it, because all I have to do is make the dough and then put the sauce on, some store-bought sauce, and grate the cheese, and it's the same thing. And so I did it. So within 30 minutes, I had two fresh pizzas, or actually, yeah, a bigger slices of pizza that cost me 5 pounds versus um two Domino's,
Mhm.
which was 30. And it was the same amount of effort involved in both of those ventures, I guess. And then I haven't gone back, because I just think, well, if I can, with such minimum effort, if my kids like it and they eat it every single time, then why would I go out and because there's no quality control in what Domino's is doing. And I just want my thing is, I just want my kids to know what really good food tastes like.
Mhm.
And if they know that, then they'll carry that once they leave.
Mm. And I mean, but boys and girls, I mean, growing up, you know, learning, if they can see how to make a pizza, they can see what goes into the machine, they can see, and that is it's a life skill. Too many people just don't know how to cook these days, you know. And the Thermomix, as I said, I've seen the machine. I mean, I will be getting one day. I know I will. Okay, I mean, when the time is right for me, it's a great machine. I do enjoy cooking. I've certainly embraced cooking, enjoy and cook a lot more. But no, I've seen it. It's a fantastic machine.
Yeah, I can see why, I understand. I think people will, when they see the price tag, their initial reaction is like, oh my God, that's too much. But if you look at what it has to offer compared to with everything that it does, and if you bought all these machines separately, then you would be spending a lot more and
Exactly.
taking a lot more space up in your house.
Yeah. And so do you do any demos?
I do. So I do them
Where?
live and I do them online. So I can do them either at whoever wants, if somebody asks me and they're local, I will take the machine to their house or they can come to me, or we could do it at the Warwick shop. Or I do them online if somebody's further away or they just want to, they prefer that.
Now, tell me about something that we discovered you made recently. So we've been buying peanut butter, a kilo bucket. It costs £6. Okay, we've been going through a kilo bucket per week. Okay, so you can make peanut butter in the Thermomix machine, can't you?
Yeah.
So I mean, what does it cost to make? I mean, tell me, and how easy is it to make it?
Oh gosh, I haven't done the costing on this. What I started doing was one of my goals for this year is to buy as package free as I can. So I've been researching different companies that sell loose products, and one of them is peanuts, and I think 500 grams is around £3 or something for these roasted peanuts or whatever. And so I've just been buying them, and I just thought one day, why am I paying for peanut butter when I can actually make it? And it's just, all it is peanuts in a bowl, or sorry, blended up. And so I just ended up trying it and literally put peanuts in, and 2 minutes later, out comes amazing peanut butter that for a 300-gram jar costs what, £3?
£3.35. Yeah. So the list of ingredients for peanut butter is just peanuts. That's it, nothing else. And there's cooking involved? I mean, obviously chopping and blending. There's no cooking, just chopping and blending. Is that right?
Yeah. So I just chop it and grind it up first, and then on medium speed, I'll just blend it until the oils come out of it.
Right.
And it gets smooth. It just couldn't be easier.
Well, I mean, and as I said, something I've got into quite recently, peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter. Oh my God, it's so delicious. And the one we use is 99% peanuts. The other one, Meridian, I think it's called, is 100% peanuts. So I know that with the ingredients, so things like peanut butter, I mean, brilliant. And you mentioned the environmental effect. So anyone who's very, very green, the Thermomix machine is a must for them, surely.
It is, because, for example, with that peanut butter, you're making your own instead of buying these small jars. Even when you're making your own yogurt, you can make yogurt in that, at least a liter of yogurt in the big container. It ferments it overnight. It's on low energy. It's doing the fermentation for you. You're saving on the container.
Wow. It doesn't make ice cream, does it, as well? It doesn't make cold things, does it?
It can make ice cream, but
wow,
you've got to blend the ice cream. It'll make the custard part of it, which is the hardest part. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably headphones. I'm taking them out in a minute. Okay, so you do demos. You're on Instagram. What's your handle on Instagram?
At Sweet Sultry Spice Cooking. We do have an offer before I forget. It's over on the 12th, and we've got a 1 or 2 year 0% finance. So I think the 2-year finance is £47.88 a month, which is, people wait for this deal. It's crazy.
So this for anybody who likes cooking, anybody who spends money on takeaways, Anybody who's green and doesn't want to, bring less packaging into the world. Anybody who wants real food rather than processed food. Anybody with a family who finds cooking a bit of a chore. Anybody alone who likes cooking but sometimes struggles to find decent food for one person. Anybody who likes to make soups. Anybody who likes, to experiment. And Indian food, Asian food, Pakistani food sounds amazing. Anybody like peanut butter? Have I missed anybody?
I don't think so. I mean, the thing that I'll add is just something that you didn't know about me, Nick.
Go on
So
in.
everyone knows, or everyone assumes that I love cooking, and I can tell you that I do, but on a everyday basis, I don't like cooking. It is not some, for me, it's a chore. And so when I think about, which is why I'm always thinking about streamlining my cooking and creating some efficiency and thinking, okay, Thermomix is somewhere in the mix for me. And so that's really my main message, is that, it's pretty much for everybody, because we're all really just looking for good food. And the best and quickest way to get it.
Fantastic. Now, before we go, are you enjoying your Zoco adventure so far?
So far, so good. The live event was really good. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, Raisa, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And the cupcakes were really good too. Thank you.
A little bit too much cream on them for my liking, but they were quite nice, weren't they? Yeah, good.
Oh no, but I really enjoyed it.
Good. Okay, well, I look forward to, we'll be coming over to make peanut butter fairly soon. Okay. So thank you so much for getting on the spot. So follow Raisa. I'll put the links below. Okay. And again, I love going live, demonstrating stuff. So next time you're at the Vor workshop, give me a shout and I'll come over again and we'll do it. And we'll do a live at your place for make peanut butter as well.
Yeah. Okay. So if anyone wants to see demos at the shop, just give me a shout.
Good. Raisa, thank you so much. Okay, let's stop there.